loves, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Santa Muerte. We are back with the Santa Muerte series, so that's who we're talking about today. Before we get started though, I just want to remind y'all to get your tickets for the monthly workshop series that I'm doing. Next month's workshop is going to be all about energy healing in all contexts, through herbs, through like plant medicine, crystals, with your spirits, with your ancestors, like everything. We're going to cover quite a bit. It's going to be an introduction into energy healing in different modalities, not just energy healing in the traditional way that is seen, such as, you know, Reiki, and stuff like that. We're going to cover quite a bit of things. They're like angel healing and stuff like that. We're going to cover a lot of things. And so definitely make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be on May 4th. And if you cannot make it that day, that's totally fine, because as always, all of my workshops are always available for replay with the link, with the purchase link. It's going to give you the YouTube link that you're going to need to access the workshop at any time that you want to go back to. There's also one of the perks of being a Patreon member at the high priestess level. They always get access to all the replays, to all the workshops that I've ever done. So definitely recommend 1000%. So definitely make sure you get your tickets before they sell out, because they're almost sold out. And I want to make sure that if you want to come through, you can come through. With that being said, let's get started on this video. This is not going to be a super long video, but we're just going to be talking about Santa Muerte, specifically La Blanca. La Blanca is just her white form for the translation. And La Blanca specifically, when it comes to Santa Muerte, you guys know I'm breaking up the series and I'm doing the colors. Each color is going to get a separate video. And if you want the main like Santa Muerte video, I had already done that, explaining like her offerings, and certain things and like tools that you can use and stuff like that. I already did that video, so make sure you check that out. But this is just going to break down, you know, working with La Blanca, what she's for, and all of that jazz. So when it comes to Santísima Muerte, La Blanca, so Santa Muerte has different forms. When it comes to, like, they're all the same, like it's still Santa Muerte. So if you're working with La Roja, which is her red form, or La Negra, which is her black form, or La Blanca, which is her white form, or like the other colors, because she has quite a bit of colors. And again, we're going to cover all of them on the channel, so you guys will be very well educated. But there's different ways to work with her, and the way that she's practiced within Mexico is very much that there's different colors for different things in relation to Santa Muerte. However, everything, and this is really when it comes down to the lesson of working with death, because working with Santa Muerte is death work. You would be like a death practitioner working with Santa Muerte. It comes down to the understanding of what death is, at the core of the thing. I think it's really important to remember that when it comes to death work, death is happening all of the time. And this is something I've mentioned in the past videos as well. Death is happening all of the time, whether it be like you just ran out of your old toothpaste and now you're starting a new one, or with a different flavor, or you just got hired at a new job and you're leaving your old job. All of those things are transitionary things. All of those things are transformative things, even in small ways. And all of those things is death happening in real time. Now, death itself can seem very, very extreme at times, because the way society is kind of like, you know, brainwashed into thinking about death is like, oh, it's the end of your life, you're done, like you're done, like that's it. But it's just not true. And when you're working with her different colors, you kind of come to understand more about what actual death work is. So when it comes to La Blanca rolls over purification, okay? Purification, cleansings, very much protective. La Blanca is also called on for any type of family disputes, any type of like jealousy work as well. Now, please keep in mind the different colors that you work with her do have different, I want to say, there's different tones to her colors. Like if you can call her La Blanca for protection just as much as you can call her La Roja, her red version, for protection just as much as her black version as well, but there's different tones for each one. Okay, and there's different ways to work with her in different extremes. So I want to just, you know, make sure you guys are aware of this as well. If you're working with La Blanca for protection, there's definitely a different vibe to La Blanca. La Blanca is very much very purifying, very like feeling very almost like in the vibration of copal, like frankincense, like the incenses that are just elevating. She's very elevating within her energy. And if you meditate with La Blanca as well, you can feel the difference. Now La Negra, while amazing, all of her versions again are amazing, can feel a little bit, I feel like people get intimidated by her the most, but her energy as far as protection and purification can feel a little bit more intense, because La Negra tends to just kind of like it's, I don't know, maybe it's just an additional sass, maybe there's just like a little bit extra, like, you know, peppers or seasoning in La Negra specifically, but La Negra has a different layer of intensity, where La Blanca feels a lot more purifying and when you work with her like on a one-on-one basis. And I feel like if you are a devotee, you would know what I mean. But if you are new as far as trying to learn about Santa Muerte, you know, you might, you know, get either most people get intimidated by her black form. Like I said in the previous video, her most popular form is the red, La Roja, and the red focuses a lot on love, but it's just, you can still work with, like, let's say you wanted to work with La Blanca specifically, but you also want to do some love work. You can still use like the same, you know, statue that you have. You're obviously just calling on her specific color or properties that she rules over within that spell work or whatnot. So maybe incorporate it in the color, like color magic within the, like the candle or whatever it is that you're doing. But you can still use the same like statue. Like I work with this one. This one is made out of bone. So she would be La Blanca because it's literally, she's white on here. I also have a red one that's really small that I carry with me when I'm traveling. But you can, I still call on her other colors with this. Specifically La Dorada is one that I work with often, because La Dorada is also amazing for finances. But La Roja as well are the ones that I go back and forth through like the most. I think when I'm doing a lot of death work in relation to somebody passing, I work a lot with La Negra. Sometimes La Blanca, but La Negra comes up generally during those times, because at the end of the day, black is still her, I would say, her truest form. It's just that there's different levels of intensity. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. So when it comes to work, and we're gonna do the, you know, La Negra video, so we'll break down a little bit more of what she does. But with La Blanca, she is amazing for dissolving gossip, for, you know, repelling enemies, for cleansing and purifying, keeping spaces like really, really smooth, blessed. Really amazing as transmuting negative energy in the home, within the family. Great for ancestor work, great for any type of family issues. Great if you feel like you are, you know, very like there's still a lot of healing that you need to do, or stagnation as well, because again, purification. So when it comes to purifying, and again, if you're working with death itself, it is a healing it's still a healing practice, no matter what type of work that you're doing, whether very, very, you know, intense or intentful in, you know, both positive and negative, because you can work with Santa Muerte for both positive and negative things. She is a spectrum, so you can, you know, do baneful, you can do like hexes, you can do so many things with Santa Muerte, but you need to also remember when you are working with her that you're working with death. There are times, because, you know, you do have a relationship with her if you are a devotee. There are times that, you know, I've seen, you know, people like get a reading and, you know, it's like depending on what's going on in the situation, Santa Muerte is very protective. So she's not somebody that you want to, you know, set intentions for and not, you know, and not see like really big consequences. Like Santa Muerte works really, really, really big. And I've had friends who are like, oh my God, I need to do a spell, but I don't want to work Santa Muerte because like this person did me wrong. And if I work with her, like she's going to kill the person. Like it's very layered, because she's very protective of like who works with her. She's very protective of like the LGBT community as well, because she is also seen as the patron saint of the LGBT community because she's the only one that works with the LGBT community. That's just because again, she is a spectrum. So you want to be mindful of the intentions that you're setting. You want to be very clear of the work that you're doing, but you also want to be aware of what kind of work that you're doing, because there's different versions of different colors would be great to work with for certain things. Like you can have a very light and fluffy relationship with her, but at the end of the day, there is still, it's a spectrum of how death can take place. It can be very minor, like I said earlier, or it can be very, very like encompassing of quite a bit of things, and it can be very, very like powerful as well. So it is very layered, and I'm not saying all of this to scare anybody off because she is amazing. I love her so much, but you should have an awareness of, death itself. It's very layered. There's not, it's not about like let's say you're working with La Roja for protection in your relationship and your partner stepped out of line or something and you're pissed and you go to Santa Muerte. If whatever she does in that situation, it's one of those things. You have to be very mindful of the intentions that you're setting, and how you want death to take place. That's really the big thing that I want y'all to keep in mind. How do you want death to take place while you're using and working with that color? Like, I would be very mindful of which color I'm working with, depending on what spell I'm trying to do. Like if I'm trying to really hurt somebody because they did me bad or whatever, I'm probably going to work with La Negra, because La Negra it's like we're going to talk about it in that video. But I wouldn't probably work with La Blanca unless I am trying to heal myself, or unless I'm trying to purify or cleanse or like really like release something. So it's one of those things that I feel like it's really important to keep in mind why you're working with the color that you are working with. So La Blanca, amazing for purification, healing, protection of the family, the home. And it's just, she's a very, very, very amazing extension energy. It's still Santa Muerte at the end of the day, right? She encompasses all of those energies. But her La Blanca version is just very, very like, it just feels very, very holy. It feels very, very nurturing as well. Almost like how, you would get nurtured by a mother. La Blanca feels that way as well. Like some of her other colors can feel a little bit more like La Negra feels more like almost like the big brother that will F up the person that tried it with you. Like it's just me feeling like that sometimes. I'm just saying. La Roja is very, very romantic, very, very playful, very like all about love, all about, doesn't play games when it comes to boundaries as well. That's one of the reasons why I work with La Roja as well. Anybody trying to interfere with my love or with my heart or any capacity, like just gets blocked off like right away, because La Roja is all about the love, all about relationships and all that stuff. But La Blanca is amazing for purification. So I go to La Blanca a lot when it comes to cleansing the space. So you guys know I just moved. When it comes to my home, so I had promised Santa Muerte that I specifically would keep her, like she kept giving me a vision of where she wanted to be in the house. I mainly have my altar space in the sunroom. And the reason why it's called a sunroom is because we literally have this room has like access to the ceiling. Like you can see the stars, you can see the clouds. Like anytime I'm doing my meditations, it's such a cool feature of this apartment. Like I'm in love with it. But anytime I'm doing meditations or anything, I could do like aromancy, cloud work, cloud divination while I'm just meditating. It's really, really cool. So that's why we call it the sunroom. But she didn't want to be in the sunroom. This is mainly where I have my altar space, but also my work area. And half of it is like my stuff. Half of it is like Babe's like music room as well. So we just kind of like combined the two. But she wanted to be in the living room. Okay. There's only a couple of spirits that I have in the living room. And that would be Archangel Michael, because he's by the door. Obviously that's where Archangel Michael's gonna be. Archangel Michael's by the door with the protection, and Santa Muerte is in the living room where I said I was gonna put her, and she's really enjoying her space. But it's one of those things, again, you don't want to keep Santa Muerte around other spirits. She just does not like that, and I don't recommend that. But one of the things that I promised her is that I was gonna put like exactly how she wanted me to have her in the living room. That's exactly what I did, and she's been very, very comfortable within her space. So it's definitely one of those things where wherever space that she's in, and I think that one of the reasons why she wants to be in the living room is because she knows we're gonna have a lot of friends over, a lot of people are gonna come through, and it's kind of like the same way as like almost like Archangel Michael is definitely protective the house and the space and that energy, but Santa Muerte is just like almost just like, it's like the bouncer. Like that's like the way that it kind of comes off as like the bouncer, like I'm watching all of you, because the way I have her up, the way I have her in the living room is like very particular, and it's just like looking down at everybody like I don't know, that's just the way that personally I am understanding it, but she really likes being in the living room. Which is great because again, she just keeps the energy of the house really, really purified, really, really like amazing, calm, peaceful. And that's great for living rooms, especially because, you know, a lot of people will end up coming through, will have a lot of friends over. If they're going through something, that it gets transmuted right away. It gets, you know, purified right away. So that's why she's going to be in the living room. And the rest of my spirits are going to be in the sunroom. Now, my ancestors are also in the sunroom, and this space is also very, very much cleansed and protected. The whole home is really, really peaceful, and I'm like in love with it. But she really, really wanted to be in the living room, so that's where she's going to be. So yeah, so that's like certain things that you should keep in mind about keeping her in your home. Definitely is La Blanca specifically helps to purify, cleanse spaces, transmute energies, remove and kind of any stagnant energies. Great for ancestor work, great for family healing, great for, oh, Pinky Winky came to say hello. Great for any type of like healing work when it comes to like family healing or removing any obstacles that, you know, are taking away from your peace. Really great for mental work as well. If you're like really stressed out, really like foggy, depressed, like Santa Muerte La Blanca, really amazing for that as well. Very, very, very layered. But definitely I feel like one of the most, like out of all her versions, it is the one that's very, very like Zen in many ways, is the way that I'm gonna explain it. Anyway, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna continue on with the series, so you guys will get all of her colors, like I said before, and we'll talk about all of her colors as we go on. Okay, I'm really excited, but I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will definitely see you loves in the next one. Also, don't forget to make sure if you go to Botánicas to, you know, get the books. One of the things that I will recommend, get the books if you're trying to learn more about Santa Muerte as well. These I got from Botánicas, and they're made, they're written by Mexicans, and obviously Santa Muerte is an indigenous, okay, folk saint, so from Mexico. So that's something that I recommend. If you see one of the books and stuff like that, definitely make sure you get it written by a Mexican, because that is their culture at the end of the day. Don't get it written by anybody else that's not, because I see a lot of people putting out a lot of like weird information on her that's not even authentic. So just be mindful of that. Just Google Translate the thing. I'm telling you, it's worth it. These books are really good, and they have really good rituals and spells and stuff like that for each one as well. And also recommend the Tarot of Santa Muerte. I'm gonna have a link below. I got mine on Amazon. I really love this deck. Not everybody does, but I really love this deck because it has all of her colors. And they just show up in different ways. Like, I really love that if I'm working with a specific color, like the different colors, or I'm doing some sort of spell work with a specific color, like it'll come up, like let's say I'm doing a reading or checking on the energies, it'll come up in that spell work. So I really, really kind of really love working with this deck. And as always, if you cannot get her statue, you can always like either print out a picture, or you can draw it too if you wanted to, or you can just get a cuadro and just put this up. This has a prayer in the back. So I like to, you know, take this while I'm traveling, and, you know, let's say, you know, I'm staying three days at a friend's house or something, or we're visiting or something. I will take my Santa Muerte, and I will do the prayer every day. I will, you know, light a little tea light, you know, keep it cute. Her colors are white, so obviously her candles will be white. And yeah, it's really, really, really like, also loves white roses. I have to say that. But really, really, you know, really basic, really simple. But yeah, really amazing. One of my favorite colors from hers. Anyway, I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I know I ranted a little bit. I'm sorry about that. I love you guys so much. Definitely don't forget to sign up for the workshop, and definitely don't forget to check out the Patreon down below. It'll be linked in the description. I will see you loves in the next video. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I love you guys so much. You guys are the best. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next one.